Hello friends of the world, this is Sonam Wangchuk once again, a remote Himalayan tribal from Ladakh across the Indian Himalayas. We are not very far from the area where 50,000 Chinese and Indian soldiers are facing one another, ready for war, even in this wintry polar Ladakhi climate. 6 months ago, many of you will remember, I had appealed to the world from this very spot that China, after having spread the pandemic and causing a lot of suffering, had started bullying with its neighbors from South China Sea to here in Ladakh, where they have intruded into large pasture lands in eastern Ladakh. I had appealed to the world that more than bullet power of our forces, more suitable would be to use the citizens' wallet power by boycotting Made in China and sending a message to China that if it wants to be a member of this civilized global village, then it has to play by the rules. And in return, you, the people of India and the world, had responded overwhelmingly. Millions of people stopped buying Chinese products, uninstalled software and apps and games, and finally it resulted in Government of India banning as many as 224 apps, and many governments around the world started taking similar steps. Many of you well-wishers at the time had warned me and cautioned me to be safe as there could be threats to my life. Well, I responded by saying that a threat or attempt on my life will be the best thing to happen in this cause, because often only when somebody dies does a cause pick up among people. But interestingly, the attempt didn't happen on my body or to kill me, but rather to kill my voice, and not from China, but rather indirectly from YouTube. After my 2 videos on boycott Made in China, one in Hindi and one in English, got more than 4 million views, over time, suddenly we started noticing that the viewership nosedived from millions to few thousand, to the extent that my latest video, which I made few days ago on the occasion of the grand Indian festive season of Diwali, appealing to people in India to buy local handmade products and to avoid Chinese cheap crackers and toys and gifts, thereby kickstarting the local economy and giving back employment to millions of people. Well, this video was one of the best I made, and yet, can you guess the number of views it got in the first 24 hours? 21,000. Down from 4 million to 21,000. Now, one could say that it could perhaps be natural. Maybe people are not interested in the subject anymore. Maybe my popularity is going down with the audience. I could have believed that, but luckily I was posting these videos simultaneously on YouTube and Facebook. While YouTube had the millions of views, Facebook was in few hundred thousands when I began. But over time, popularity didn't go down with Facebook. It actually went higher, and YouTube, on the other hand, nosedived, thereby proving that it is not to do as much with the videos or the audience, but rather some external force influencing YouTube to suppress the videos for a reason that we can all understand. We are inquiring from Google also about this, but we haven't so far got a satisfactory answer. And I'm making this video to seek help from you, my friends, particularly those from IT background, to see if this is possible. Now, some of you may say that why would YouTube support Chinese Communist Party? It's just not possible. So we looked up if this has happened in the past, and this is what we found.
China is now interfering with your YouTube activity. You cannot post certain comments because China doesn't like them. But why is YouTube doing the dragon's bidding?
Go to YouTube and comment Gongfei or Wu Mao in Mandarin. It does not have to be a video. You could comment on a live stream too. Don't be surprised if the phrases are deleted within 15 seconds. This is no abracadabra. This is the Chinese Communist Party controlling your lives in ways you didn't even know. Gongfei means communist bandit, and the transliteration for Wu Mao is 50-cent party. Both these phrases are insults for the CCP, and Xi Jinping's men are systematically filtering criticism from online platforms.
Now, YouTube came up with the explanation later, embarrassed, I think, saying that it was an error on their part. It's interesting that this error happens to be something that favors a powerful Chinese government. Not just this, sometime earlier, it was also discovered that Google was working on a secret project called the Project Dragonfly to make a search engine specially for China which would comply all the whims of Chinese Communist Party in order to gain business in China, in a way compromising all democratic values and principles. So this is completely not impossible that it is gagging my voice this time. So unless YouTube comes up with a convincing explanation, I want to appeal to you, all my friends, to spread the word so that my voice can reach many of you. And I want your support to finally result in YouTube opening its knobs and valves so that freedom of speech flows from the mountains of Ladakh, giving voice to perhaps the last citizen on the planet. That is the role of social media today. Let's make this Diwali in India and Christmas and New Year festive season around the world free from made in China product, and send a signal to China to say that the wallets that made you strong can also bring you down. Otherwise, if we continue to appease China for trade deals and for cheap goods, we'll be creating the same circumstances that created a monster in 1940s that finally led to the Second World War. I want to believe that we are smarter this time and can avoid a Third World War.